Tops and servers with Windows 11 Pro starting at $499, plus top monitors and docks, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. It's the perfect time to upgrade so you and your team can stay secure from anywhere. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL to refresh your business tech with these small business month specials. Dell recommends Windows 11 Pro for business.
A town square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is 97.3 ESPN, home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
He is hit. He stumbles. He's down.
WENJ HD Millville, Atlantic City.
The following program is paid for, and the opinions expressed are not those of Town Square Media or station advertisers.
Welcome to the locker room.
Vince Papali, welcome to the locker room.
I can smell it already, Philly. What's happening, buddy?
Von Hayes, welcome to the locker room with Billy Schwein.
Yeah, hey, Billy, how you doing out there?
Rich Gannon, welcome to the locker room, Rich.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be with you.
Great Bob McElwee, NFL referee.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Craig Berube. Craig, welcome to the locker room.
All right, thanks, Billy.
We have the real Pat Croce in the locker room.
Let me off the bench, Coach.
And now here's your host, Billy Schwein.
And a good morning to everybody out there in South Jersey. It's the locker room with Billy Schwein and Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN. Good morning, Pete.
Good morning, Billy. Happy Sunday to you. How you doing, buddy?
Always good to see you, Pete. You're in your Eagles green today. Get your ShopRite gear on.
I'm celebrating the schedule coming out.
All right, you got your Eagles hat. I'm wearing my Phillies stuff. Of course, you can check us out on Facebook. Billy Schwein, my Facebook page, and then, of course, my YouTube channel, The Locker Room with Billy Schwein. You can check us out there. We're streaming live. And PT, it's been a pretty interesting week, I should say. It's a postmortem Sunday for the Sixers.
Yeah, we still have to talk about them.
We're going to talk about them a little bit, but our Philadelphia Phillies are sure turning our frowns upside down.
That's
with
the old
play,
that's the
right?
old Kitty City or Toys R Us.
Kitty City.
Was it Kitty City or Toys R Us that had that as their slogan?
Right.
Turn that frown upside down.
I mean, the Phillies won 6 of their last 8, which is, really good to see. I mean, you go out to the West Coast, especially after the way they played against the Mets, blowing a big lead and then blowing a lead to the Dodgers. All of a sudden, they're 6 out of their last 8.
Yeah, that 6 out of their last 8 comes after those 2 rain delays that they desperately needed when they blew that game, when they were up 7-1 going to the top of the ninth inning and ended up losing 8-7. Hey, before we go much further, I want to wish a happy birthday to my girlfriend's son, Michael Miller. I believe that he's 26 today, which is unbelievable.
I give my left pinky
to be 26 again.
Yeah. Maybe you take it up to the knuckle.
He's letting his hair grow. I do not have a full head of hair. I mean, we could go do these comparisons all day long. But the thing that is amazing is that he's 26 today, and I first met him when he was 14.
Wow.
So if you sit there and think about the adventures that we've had together, he was my...
And you guys go to a lot of sporting events together.
Well, sure. He was my unpaid intern,
Okay.
Although I did have to sign a letter for him one time because he was like on a probationary or your first driver's license that you get. And I had to sign the letter to say that, there'd be times on Friday nights where he'd be leaving TV 40 to go back to Absecon. And, hey, Mr. Cop, if you pulled him over, there's a reason that he's driving past midnight. Well, that's because the show went till 11:30 and there was always a half hour of cleanup and all that stuff.
So happy birthday.
Yeah, man. Wait, I got to say just one more thing about Michael. Many times, Michael has described himself as being the adult in the pairing of the two of us. Well, to see somebody go from 14 to 26 is truly seeing them go from, gangly teenager to, young
adult.
Well, now he's a true adult. So his prophecy has come true. He is truly the adult in the pairing, although he'll say that he knew that from day one.
Hey,
so happy birthday, buddy.
On another note, it's been 2 years since Chuck Petson passed away, and Chuck got me started in this profession.
The bet man.
And You know,
dog. Hey, dog.
dog. You know, Batman was a unique.
But the
character.
Batman had it first, dog.
Yeah. He was a unique character. I mean, he had an ego and everything, but he was a good guy, a good old. So he's the guy that started. When I say at the end of my show, thanks for making the locker room part of your Saturday or Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner.
That was his line.
He coined that. Yeah.
There you go.
And because the hockey, I told you, the hockey players that I used to pal around with
called you Schweiner.
Schweiner.
Because they didn't really know what your last name was.
Well,
So they came close.
Yeah, they pushed it. I mean, when they used to leave me tickets at the will call, whatever destination we went to watch the games on the road, I'd get Schweitzer, Schweiner, anything but my real name.
Schweitzer, Albert Schweitzer, Nobel Peace Prize.
Of course.
Now, the Batman, to me, I mean, the guy, leave a mark. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, whether you're beloved or not as well liked or whatever, leave a mark, make an impact. And Chuck Betson, for better, for worse, for richer or poorer, he definitely made an impact on this area, certainly on me. I actually met him when he was still writing for the Press of Atlantic City. And I was at Temple, and I came down to something, or maybe he came up to some Temple Owls games, or he was at the A10 tournament at the Palestra when I was in college. And I thought, man, this guy, who is this guy? Like, because it was the Batman strut.
He was like a Jack Klugman type, remember the Odd Couple when
Very
he was
much
like
so.
That type of persona. I mean, he introduced me to Dick Weiss. Listen, when he was writing for the Press of Atlantic City, I'll never forget. I flew out to Phoenix for the Fiesta Bowl.
Oh, the national championship
game.
Okay,
and I was his runner.
Was that the
this is before cell phones?
Penn State, Miami?
Yes,
was that the
1987?
Did they come off in fatigues? Or
yes,
was that,
yes. Jerome
Miami
Brown,
came off in combat fatigues,
and we were out there. And I'll never forget. I met Jack McCaffrey through him, and a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you know what? I know you laugh at me and make a joke about the when I got suspended by the Phillies.
Oh, that's
Bonnie.
just an ongoing thing.
But Chuck did show me a lot of the etiquette that they don't tell you anything. I mean, if you don't know. I mean, it's no handbook. There's no
They don't hand those out at the door.
No, they don't hand those out at the door. Chuck, steered me in the right direction. I wouldn't be sitting here in this chair if it wasn't for Chuck, I believe.
Well, that's very nice that you remember him, and our thoughts, of course, with Barb and Scott, his son. He'd be so proud of Scott and all the success that he's had with the Mainland girls basketball program. And to know the Batman is to love him.
Batman, he
was dog.
What's up, Schweiner, dog?
And there were certainly moments where, like, he'd walk into something and he'd kind of beeline right up to me. I'd be like, oh boy, what are we doing here? And he'd be like, hey, I saw you had the story on such and such. And I go, okay. And he'd go, the Batman had that first.
He would go, that's a great get, Schweiner. That's a great get. He was always very passionate about what he did,
He very much was. And like I said, to know him is to love him. And I think a lot of people crossed his path. So that's nice that we spent a minute or two talking.
So, Pete, I went to the game Thursday night.
Oh, yeah, you went to the Sixers game. So you're the reason they blew it.
I have my, what do you call these?
Those are Thunder Sticks.
Thunder Sticks. I got my Thunder Sticks from the Sixers here. I got my Thunder Sticks going.
So were you behind the basket?
No, so Louis Capelli, good friend of mine, his lovely wife, Laura, they were going to go to the game, and she couldn't go. She wasn't feeling well. So he went to the bullpen, and he called me up and said, hey, Schweiner, about maybe about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
He said, Schweiner, listen, do you want to go to the game tonight?
And you said absolutely.
Absolutely, Louis.
Yeah.
And we went. Now, we sent a luxury box.
Ooh.
Now, something to be said.
A box or a suite?
A suite.
Ooh, that's really nice.
Right? You get your own refrigerator, you get your bathroom.
You got your own bathroom, and
the
food is comped.
Well, there was only they only had pretzels and stuff.
Okay.
Like nothing.
A small menu.
Yeah, not a small menu.
How about the beverages?
You go in the refrigerator, get a refrigerator anytime you want. But you're not with the peeps. You know what I mean?
You were what? There 12 people in there, tops?
Yeah, but I think, guess what? I don't. Yeah, maybe there was about 12.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's different. It's a different feel for me. I think.
The suites have been redone. The club boxes have not, as you remember from our Flyers fan that we had on that worked at Uncle Bill's.
Yes.
And, how upset she is of what the concept is that they're going to.
Yeah. So we were in a luxury box. That was
okay. Let's try this again. You can't call it a luxury box when this. I blame the Wells Fargo Center. I don't blame you. you were in a suite.
I was in a suite. I'm
right.
sorry.
And it actually, if you get the elevator, it says LS.
Yes.
For luxury suite.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a big difference between a suite and a club box.
Club box, right.
And the old club boxes, which we were at for this Blues game.
Chief got us the tickets.
Right. That's a much, that's still better than steerage. That's still better than regular seats.
Steerage.
Right. Yeah.
Going down with a Titanic.
That's correct. Yeah. First class, second class steerage. No, steerage is like upstairs, like where you hang your coat,
Right.
And it's interesting how they've done this renovation at the Wells Fargo Center because they actually started with the cheap seats first.
Yeah.
They went way up to the top first.
And
they did the top seats and the bottom seats.
I haven't been all the way up top now.
No. I'm talking about the regular seating, the upper bowl.
Oh, no. Yeah.
No. Way up.
Way up.
They had a bunch of luxury suites up there as well. And they took most of those out. I think there's only one left. And then they created what they called, the Sixers called it Revolutionary Row. Okay. And then Bet Rivers, who's a big sponsor, put a big whole sports betting area on the one end and a bar and all that stuff. And then as you kind of walk through, when you get up there, remember the first year, the Flyers created a rage room where you could go in and break stuff with hockey sticks and whatnot. Well, they needed that this year, not last year. There was a lot of rage. Of course, there was nobody there to break anything, but that's a whole nother story. But no, not my beef, but I've only been up there a couple times. I haven't been up there for the Sixers, but for the Flyers, when they first put it in, they had one row of seats, and then everything else was like standing room only. Well, those standing room only seats, people, what are you going to do? You're going to gravitate naturally down into that one row of seats. So if you paid a little bit of the extra money to actually get your butt in a seat, and then you come back and
there's no seat.
And the first game, they were unprepared for it, the Wells Fargo Center seating staff. And then by the next game, they were too Gestapo. Like every time you went back, you're like, dude, I've seen you 5 times. Like, I've got a beer in my hand and a pretzel in the other one. Let me get to my damn seat. Right. So I digress, but it's interesting up there. I just think that you're right. You're when you're in a suite like that, especially for a game 6,
you don't
where the whole season's on the line.
Yeah.
It was different.
Like when and it doesn't matter what level you're on too. You're like, you're next to people, especially if you're winning, you're high-fiving. It was just a different, almost like a corporate type feeling.
Is Lee your sister? Is that right? No, who's Lee Holcomb?
Oh, I went to college with her.
Okay. Well, she says, hi from Charlotte, North Carolina. Go Canes.
Yeah. Hey,
go Hurricanes.
How about 3 Game 7s last night? And I watched, so it was raining. It was a miserable day yesterday. What do? You come home, you get on the couch, you watch I watched 2 Game 7s, and I watched the Phillies last night in its entirety.
Yeah, good for you. I've had a trick with the Phillies, and we talked about this off the air, but I've had a trick where I've started to watch the Phillies, or I've sort of monitored them in the early innings, and then I won't watch the end. Now, in the beginning, the one night it was because I fell asleep, right? Then the next night, my girlfriend was like, hey, remember last night you watched and they blew it, went to extra innings. So I didn't watch, So, I mean, like the first 9-7.
So you're superstitious.
Yeah, and then last night, I did not watch more than I watched. I actually, it's funny. You don't have this as much, I guess, in your house right now, but the battle for the TV. I don't
have that anymore.
Right, but all couples have that.
I would be relegated to my man room, but I don't have that anymore.
Right. Well, I don't have a man room currently. I mean, I have the main room in my house, which is the biggest TV. And so Susan was at work yesterday, and I was watching something called The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. It was really good, but each of them are an hour. I had 2 more to go.
Right.
And the Philly, and I picked her up at 10 o'clock, and the Phillies are on, and so we have I had 18 minutes left to go in an episode. So I watch it while she's like making whatever she's going to make to eat and whatnot. And that gets finished. And she says, well, you're going to put the Phillies on right now. Of course, it's Netflix. What do you want to do? You want to go right to the next program? So I said, and she's like, oh no. She says, I'm watching the Phillies down here, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And I thought, well, son of a gun, I got relegated to the upstairs, to the bedroom.
Way to work, Susan. Way to go, kid.
But that also got me not watching the Phillies, and then all the good things continued. So you were talking about the hockey, though.
Well, we'll get to that because
we'll do a whole segment on that.
Now, we got a great show lined up as we do each and every Sunday. We'll be going on the mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by
Aaron Bada's Golf and Sports Performance Club. Call 609-788 4661 or visit gsfitness.com for your free assessment.
And when we get back, we'll also acknowledge and talk about David West passing, and that's kind of a sad thing. Tommy Greene, I'm sure, has a lot to say about David West. So we'll get to all that. Hockey scores. We have you had some interviews with the LPGA.
Yeah, in the second hour, Aaron Bada's Golf and Sports Performance Club certainly helped me.
Okay.
On Monday, it was the media day for the ShopRite LPGA Classic. And I got to tell you, Billy, it was at least 35 or 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Wow.
I've never seen a flag stick like this. It was
Really?
bent,
Really?
You know, the whole number 2 that was right out, but they've put a lot of money, $700,000 into the renovations of the Bay Course out there at Seaview. We're going to talk to Amanda Blumenhurst, who's from Golf Channel, and she went to Duke, so we had to get her a little question in there about Coach K. Celine Boutier, who's the defending champ. Megan Francella, who is from Philly Cricket Club, but used to be on the LPGA Tour, and she's the sponsors exemption. And then we're going to talk a little, like for the golf nuts out there, we'll hear from Alex McGann, who's the director of golf at Seaview, about all the changes and the specific stuff that they did to the Bay Course. That's in the second hour.
Very good. All right, the first hour of
Got to get your script.
I put the wrong one up. The first hour of the locker room is brought to you by, or powered by, Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that will help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shore to center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Of course, Surety is celebrating 30 years in business because they're the best. My Winter Watchdog. Have you heard of New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog? You know those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming, and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on the house, hours of time on the road. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. And send Debbie an email at Debbie at mywinterwatchdog.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue more here in the locker room on a Sunday edition with Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN.
Wake up with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings at 6 on 97.3 ESPN.
wherever you want. Straight Talk Wireless. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Plan your summer vacation now. Spirit Airlines is offering nonstop flights from Atlantic City International Airport to Boston, Atlanta, San Juan, Miami, and other exciting destinations. Book your low-cost flights today by visiting spirit.com.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Got my, what do you call these things?
Your Thunder Sticks.
Thunder Sticks.
Yeah.
It says Philly Unite.
Yeah, well, we're not very united now.
We'll get to Sixers. So again, the Eagles schedule came out, and we'll go over that in the second hour.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about that as well. Michael texted, my girlfriend's son texted and said that he was listening. So, again, happy birthday, Michael. And he says, I like the Blitz talk. Make sure you tell Billy about the cleanup of the trash can kick or the night of the lost tape.
I want to hear about the trash can kick first because I kind of feel
well, they both involve Friday night. I mean, there was nothing more hectic for us than trying to do a Friday night blitz.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember what the program was, but you know that we did the regular news from 11 to 11:15, took a break, and then the last 15 minutes of the show were all high school football highlights all the way to the end, right? And you know, the max number of games we'd have would be 7 or maybe 8 sometimes, and so we had a Friday night situation where it was stressful up there and everything was, you know, we were trying to make deadline to get out there and, you know, it's not pre-recorded. I mean, there were a lot of people that used to say, I don't understand how I see you on the sidelines here at 10:45 or 10:50. And then you're back at the studio with a shirt and tie on. Like, how do you do that? But it was chaotic. And we had a night, the one time where they put the wrong tape in and they couldn't find it and it was going crazy. And I hated when we had mistakes. Like I wanted things to operate smoothly. And so when we got to commercial break, we had a big blue bucket, like one of those recycling buckets.
Yeah.
We had a big blue bucket, like, cause we used to, Mike Frankel and I used to just throw our papers on the ground. And then at the end, you'd have this massive humanity, you know? So somebody finally said like, look, why don't you just move that bucket there and you can throw them into the bucket. And for the most part, we were a pretty good shot. You know, you'd let go and it would float in or whatever while you're talking. And the minute we got to commercial break, I punted the bucket halfway across the studio. I mean, way better than Sav Roca could do or Sean Landetta. I mean, I booted this thing. And then, of course, we had a kid named Dino Arantoulis, if he's out there, the greatest Greek guy I've ever met, Dino Arantoulis. And I was like, I punted the thing. I was mad. And I said, Dino, pick that up. And Michael always laughs at, you know, the fact that.
Funny.
And then the second one with the lost tape. And I thought maybe they were the same story, but, you know, sometimes this stuff blurs together. There was a kid that shot for us. I definitely remember his name was Mike.
Right.
And he was a first time shooter. So he was all like nervous about, okay, could he do this and whatnot? And so he was all excited to get out there. I worked with him to cut his highlights up. We get out on the set and we're on there and they go to play the tape and it's not the right video. And remember, these were like actual physical tapes, right? And then, you know, we would stand in front of the we would stand in front of the chroma key and the video would start behind us and then they'd go to it full. So the video was like the wrong video. And then it went to like some nonsense video from like a month earlier where I'd gone to some skeet shooting place.
Right.
So to compound the error, not only is it the wrong video playing behind us, but then all of a sudden I'm standing like in some tree stand with a rifle. You know, I mean, it was just a total cluster, you know what, right? And so when we got into commercial break, I went back into the control room to try and find the tape. Couldn't find it. Went into the edit bay. Couldn't find it. And what had happened was the tape that they had was just the raw tape. So, of course, they had gotten to the end of the raw tape, and that's why it was going to nonsense video. Well, it turns out this guy, Mike, for whatever reason, was so excited that he got to edit stuff that was going to be on the air and whatnot. He took the tape home with him.
Jesus.
Now, I don't know why the hell you do that, because that's the tape we need for the air, bro.
Right.
But he took the thing home with him. So when I called him after the show to be like, hey, what happened to this tape? He got real quiet. So that's one we talk about quite a bit as well. Well,
that kind of reminds me, you know, you want things to run to perfection. You want, you know, you're on the air. My very first show here. Things weren't going the way I wanted them to go.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Oh, boy.
And as soon as the show was over, I said, you know, thanks for making the locker room part of your Saturday. There's nothing. And then I signed off, and then I pushed back from my chair.
Yeah.
And I dropped an F-bomb.
Oh, no. And the mic wasn't off yet. Oh,
Like,
boy.
usually you cut the mics right away, right?
I try to because I've worked with you
My
long
producer
enough.
at the time didn't cut it.
I also try to.
So I was almost fired before I got hired.
Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Always assume the microphone is on.
All right. Tommy Greene's coming up next.
Yeah.
On the Mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by
Aaron Bada's Golf and Sports Performance Club. Call 609-788-4661 or visit gsfitness.com for your free assessment. Eventually, I'll memorize
We'll start the Locker Room Sports Show in earnest, I guess, after this break. But I want to ask Tommy Greene about Aaron Nola. He's pitched into some bad luck lately. He's had like 4 or 5 great outings in a row, and he doesn't have a win to show for it.
Yeah, you and I were looking that up a little bit. It's unbelievable. His only win this season, Aaron Nola's only win this season, came in his opening start, which was against Oakland. And then since then, he has been a victim of bad luck. He lost to Seattle 5-4, then lost to the Mets 8-7. Then he got no run support against the Mets 3-0. Lost to Milwaukee.
His ERA is down to 3.83, which is respectable.
He pitched well in Milwaukee, and got no run support there as well. He went 7 innings in Milwaukee and they lost 1-0. So
47 Ks, only 7 walks.
Yeah, he's been good. 47 Ks, 7
made a
walks.
bunch of errors. But
now, the one thing, his one bugaboo, and we've talked about this with Tommy Greene, is he tends to give up the long ball. And he's got six of them so far this season. But no, he's been really good. A 3.83 ERA and a whip of 1.
Is that unbelievable?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good, Pete.
And he's in the top 10 in the league in strikeouts.
So let's get into we'll ask Tommy Greene, get into the psyche of a pitcher when you're pitching well, but you got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, remember there was one year back in the the glory days where Cole Hamels. Yeah, I think it was 09.
Yeah.
Because 08 he was Mr. Everything. But I think in 09 he came out and he was decent, but he could never get any run support.
Right. So. All right. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. Celebrating 30 years in business. Call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan and the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the mainline, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the mainline, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at RDS Auto at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll go on the mound with Tommy Greene. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Hey, it's Mike Gill back on Monday.
And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $249, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson. Like we said earlier, the Phillies have won 6 out of their last 8 games, kind of turned it around. Didn't really suspect too much on the West Coast going up against Goliath, right?
Ever since they got that Bull Durham rain out, right? Where they they didn't play against the Mets after they blew the lead.
Yeah.
You know, they had the one day off, then they actually got an extra day off. And look, Seattle's not that good. So to go in and beat Seattle 2 out of 3.
They have good pitching.
They do. And to go in and beat Seattle 2 out of 3 was definitely a plus. But what they're doing right now, 9-7 in game 1 against the Dodgers, 12-10 in game 2. Now, at least last night they didn't give me agina. It was like, oh my God,
All right, without any further ado, like we do each and every Sunday, we go on the mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by
Aaron Bada's Golf and Sports Performance Club. Call 609-788-4661 or visit gsfitness.com for your free assessment.
Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome in the man himself, Tommy Greene. Good morning, T. Greene.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's not raining here. Is it raining there?
Well, it's like dreary. It's, I'll tell you what.
Sun's starting to peek out.
Boy, did it rain hard yesterday, huh? It was all flooded down here at the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I'm so tired of this weather pattern. It's unbelievable.
Hey, T. Greene, before we get started, we lost the Philly. David West passed away. I was, shocked. I mean, I knew he was sick, but talk to us a little bit about your good buddy David West.
I tell you what, you couldn't ask. You'll see on people talking about it, and you couldn't ask for a better teammate and brother in arms. You go out and battle with every day. I mean, when you play baseball, you go out. It is a battle. You go out there to war. That's the way we treated it a little bit. But as far as the individual, classy guy, give you the shirt off his back. You can't ask for a better teammate. You can't say enough good things about David. I had a lot of good times with him, not just on the baseball field, but off the baseball field, So me and him in L.A. used to hang out a little bit, especially L.A. and David. They were together a lot. Being the relievers, they were tied at the hip a little bit, being bullpen guys, but to get to know David, I played against him in the minor leagues. He was always. He was a starter back then, and man, he had such great stuff flew up their system, and to get an opportunity to play here with him in Philly and be a part of the 93 team like it was, and he was an invaluable part. I mean, you couldn't put a price tag on what he was worth, him in LA, as far as what he was worth to the team down there in the bullpen.
Tommy Greene with us on the Maserati, the Mainline Hotline, and Tommy's talking about his teammate David West, who tragically passed at the way too young age of 57. The team confirmed yesterday. He had his best season, Tommy, of his career in that 93 campaign, 76 games as a reliever. That was the second most in the National League, a 2.92 ERA, his career best with 3 saves. He was in that World Series 3 times against the Toronto Blue Jays. The one thing I do want to know about, and I guess this has been brought up in the media coverage, is this is the 6th former Philly, Tommy, to die of brain cancer since 03. You got Ken Brett in 03, and you think, oh boy, and then Tug McGraw, Johnny Oates, Vuk, and Dutch, and nobody was closer to Dutch than you, right? Is there a connection here? Are we trying to draw a connection where there isn't?
Well, I wish I knew. Being part of the Darren's Foundation and stuff, I got a chance to talk to a lot of the doctors and stuff, and even the doctors. I did there was a thing they had down in D.C. like a year and a half or 2 ago. It was during the fall, right before COVID, and they had their first annual glioblastoma, sort of like not a convention, but it was a talk where they had doctors from Duke up, and you had people, with their stories telling it. They wanted me to be a part of it because from up here in Philly, being a part of Dutch's foundation and being close to Dutch, they wanted the personal side of, of that, other than being Amanda, seeing seeing what goes on with the individual and how it affects life, and and that how it affected my life, and that type of thing. Sort of is a testament to Dutch and his life and what he did for me. But to get a chance to talk with those doctors and what they're trying to do to find a path to lead the people who have glioblastoma on a better quality of life, and hopefully finding life expectancy moving out to years with an S rather than less than year, that type of thing, because a lot of people don't make it past 12 months or a little bit over. 12 to 18 is what they're looking at for Dutch to make it. He was 4 years. Over 4 years, he's sort of one of those special ones. But they asked me, says, what is going on up here in the Northeast corridor up here? It's just like we're ground zero up here. Yeah. That was one of the questions. He said, we wish. Is there a correlation to, us playing baseball, and or is it just the area?
They said it could be just be the veteran stadium.
Yeah, was there asbestos in the paint or something like that? Stadium. Did they cut corners?
Well, they're raising all kind of questions with the turf, the old turf, the new turf. Being they tried because they changed out the old turf with the new turf they had and made it more like grass, and the effects of the heat of the summer with the vapors and stuff, what it does to that is there's some kind of reaction that has. No, they did studies on this, and and as you've read a little bit, some say that it's some say it could be hazardous. Does it cause what they're saying? I don't know. Nobody ever knows. The vet's not here anymore.
Yeah.
So. Is it something in the Northeast corridor up here? Is it, because of the industry, or I don't know. All I know is that it's affecting a lot of people we care about. And it really, if there's something they can do for study and, to do, I think it should be done, just to try, try to find something. Make sure, nobody, if we can prevent one case from happening, that's what we want to do, so, or at least find some knowledge. Maybe it gives us knowledge about what's happening. So, it's just a crying shame to be losing, I've lost some dear friends. Yeah. I've lost some dear friends that I played with and coached, some of my coaches. And it's, I can't, it makes me angry. That's what I said. I kind of, when they come over, when LA got in touch with us, I said, I'm angry, I don't know what to say, but other than I'm angry,
right. All right. We're talking
I'm angry at this thing.
We're talking with Tommy Greene on the Mound with Tommy Greene every Sunday. Tommy, now let's turn our attention to I want to ask you about Aaron Nolan. He's turned it around. He's pitched real well, but he's human.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't have support, he's pitched well his last 4 or 5 outings. He's got nothing to show for. What's that do to a pitcher's psyche?
Well, no, and I think just judging by Aaron, I know him a little bit. I've met him a few times, just the type of person he is. He's so laid back and so, and what he does. I know I can only vouch for myself the way I treated it. I wanted to give my team an opportunity, a chance to win the day I pitched, whatever it is. Did I need to get the win? No. Did the team win when I pitched made a difference to me? Did the team win?
Right.
Somehow. Did I get the win? It didn't matter. Did the team win today? I was keeping it close or whatever, no matter if it was a 5-4 game or a 2-1 game or 1-0 game the day I pitched. And that's what I took pride in. 93 was a special year for me. I think I had like 29 or 30 starts. Yeah. And I think we won 25 of the games I pitched. Or pitched in. And that says something. That's what counted for me. I had a big part of the team winning that day. Did I need the W beside my name? No. It does feel good when you get it, but it doesn't feel real good when you get the L hung by your name either. But I know that Aaron's the one. He approaches it like that. He wants to keep his team in ball games with a chance to win. Does the team win? Yeah, I think that's what type of dude he is.
Tommy Greene with us here on the Mound with Tommy Greene. It's brought to you by Aaron Bada's Golf and Sports Performance Club. Call 609-788-4661 or visit gsfitness.com for your free assessment. Enjoy massage therapy, assisted stretching, sports-specific training, TrackMan, Foresight technology, all the things you need down there with Aaron Bada to improve your game. Tommy, I got to tell you, when they said that the DH was going to be universal, I'm an old school guy. I know pitchers like to hit. I didn't like it. Given what's happened,
I don't like it either.
Given what's happened with Bryce Harper, though, I never thought I'd say this into a live microphone. Thank God for the DH, right? I mean, Bryce Harper is absolutely
where you agree with it. But, yeah,
he's hitting the cover off the ball. It's just my way to say I'm not throwing my support behind the DH. By the way, I just was trying to do a good segue there into Bryce Harper and what he's doing lately.
I get you on that one. I mean, and it's very understandable. You keep your big dog in the lineup, and he's able to swing and be a part of the offense. But you listen to his comments and stuff, and you know, it's eating at him not being able to play both sides. You know, he wants to play defense. He takes pride in playing both sides. You know, but I mean, for him to be doing what he's doing is thank God for the DH. You know, you look at the past week, this week from the 8th to the 14th. I mean, he's 14 for 27, you know, with 9 ribbies. You know, he's batting, and for the month of May, he's batting right at 400, 396. So you can, I mean, he's as hot as you can get, and then we need to keep him that way. I mean, we need to go on these type of runs to get back where we need to be to stay. And hopefully, the next time we play the Mets, we can do the same thing to them. You know, we seem to be having trouble with them a little bit, but you know, that's just the thing. We got to beat up on somebody else then, and hopefully, we can finish it off today with LA to keep them going.
That'd be pretty unbelievable. And by the way, it's a small tear in his UCL. Okay. It doesn't look like he needs Tommy John surgery or anything like that. He hasn't played the right field. He hasn't been in the field since April 16th, but
and he's getting that shot today. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. It's a platelet rich injection is what he's getting.
Yeah. Well, hopefully when they do stuff like that, I didn't have anything like that. So, you know, hopefully they can give him time. Hopefully it heals up. Now, will it heal up during the season since he's swinging and doing what he's doing? You know, I hope it does. You know, but you can't take a chance on him playing out there and him throwing a ball and it completely tear. You know, because it's hard to tell him not to throw a baseball when somebody's trying to score from third. You know,
right?
He's going to want to air it out, and you know, and it completely tear. And how's that affect him offensively? It's going to affect him. I mean, I would think.
Yeah, and then the trickle-down effect, too. Nick Castellanos has been in right field, so, you know, he's got a few runs saved and stuff. But, I mean, him being out there because Harper can't play right field means that Schwarber, Hoskins, Alec Boehm are always in the field every day as well.
Yeah. I mean, and hopefully, you know, them getting to play, you know, like that, you tend to get, the more times you do things, hopefully you get a little better at them, you know. So hopefully we're going to get that type of reaction from those guys, you know.
We just got to get Schwarber to stop taking our own guys out. He and Didi collided at one point, and then
that's true.
And then last night, Schwarber's like a football player.
I was going to say he's like a linebacker.
Looks like a little bowling ball. You know, he came and ran down the left field line last night.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, the infielders need to take note. You know, when they hear him say something,
I got it.
Okay,
get the blank out the way.
Hey, Tommy, we starting to see the bats come alive. I mean, everybody had great anticipation of you know, the Phillies signing Schwarber and Castellanos and Castellanos. These guys are now, you know, Harper's starting to hit the ball. He's batting 3-0. His average is up to 305. We're starting to score some runs in the last 3 or 4 games. Is this the team we were expecting to see?
Well, I know I was, and the guy, you know, I'm really proud of right now. He's like unsung right now. You haven't mentioned him. He's been swinging as Segura.
Yeah, 11 game hitting streak.
Yeah, over the month of May, just the month of May, he's batting 430 over almost 440. You know, and so I mean, he's got 4 home runs in the last week. You know, so. I mean, he's hot as he can get. So you got to give him a little bit of kudos. Everybody's sort of pulling, you know, Hoskins is waking up. You know, he's hitting right at 300 for the month. Well, you know, he's coming. His long ball's coming a little bit with him. He's hit 4 home runs this past week. So, I mean, everybody's waking up a little bit. So hopefully we can get you're not going to have everybody on the same page all the time, but if you got some of those guys going, getting hot, and then when they kind of cool down, the other ones get hot, that's how you pull teams through. That's how you win ball games, at the end, so, I mean, that's what we want. There's no I in team. So you got to have a team to do this.
I'll tell you what, it's a long season. Baseball is a marathon. So hopefully Schwarber get to straighten it out a little bit, and the Phillies look like they're on the right track.
He needs to get hot. You look at it; they played they played 34 games. They got 128 left. So, so they can get hot and run off some, run off a good record here and get hot and run away from some people or catch people or whatever you want to say. And they got the ability, the talent to do it. Now it's all about the staying away from the injuries. We're trying to, but we need the people that come up to help. Who they bring in, the Morales, the Stocks. They need to go out there and catch the ball, and they don't have to knock
Bailey Falter was great.
They need to help.
Bailey Falter was great when he pitched the other day.
Yeah.
Guys, although I'd be okay if Alvarado took a mental vacation. I'd be all right with that.
All right, Tommy Greene, we got to run.
You got it.
Sorry, buddy. I keep egging you on. Billy's telling me to let you wrap up, and I keep egging you on.
we gotta run, but Tommy Greene, man, we appreciate it each and every Sunday. We get to speak with you on the Mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by
Aaron Bada's Golf and Sports Performance Club. Call 609-788-4661 or visit gsfitness.com for your free assessment.
All right, Tommy, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, man, you got it.
Take care, Tommy.
There he is, Tommy Greene on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shortest center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you. 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Hey, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up hour number one. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Coming up on the next edition of Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
And I don't want to pass the buck, but I allowed myself to be talked into voting for you.
paint allergy known as alpha-gal, specializing in allergy elimination, Lyme disease, fertility, autoimmune disorders, adult and childhood ADD, ADHD, learning disabilities, insomnia, headaches, and all types of pain. Contact them today, 856-285-4788 to start feeling better, or visit them online at sjadvancehealth.com.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson, Tommy Greene, quality guy.
We were talking about that in the break.
Nice guy.
Just a great individual.
Yeah,
and
man.
It really is a shame that all those guys are gone.
It's amazing, man.
From
it's got to be a connection to the vet.
That's what I told my girlfriend last night. She asked me, she sent me a text message about it. I'd already seen it. And she said, "What do you think it is?" And I said, it's got to be, maybe. And I said it on the air. Maybe there was asbestos in the paint. Maybe there was asbestos in the drop ceiling.
What amazes me
Although it's interesting because I said that, but then he said the turf, when they redid the turf,
and the heat with the vapors coming off,
and the glue to put the turf down,
right,
or the whatever was in the base of the turf, that basically
when I see pictures,
and that's plausible too, because let's think about it, right? Of the guys that have passed, everybody there. They didn't all they weren't all like in the same common places, were they? Right? I don't think so. So to me, for all those guys are like Ken Brett. How long was Ken Brett?
He was here for a cup of coffee,
right around the Phillies. But when you have that list and you look at all the people, David West is the 6th. You said 7, 6. Since 2003. Ken Brett in 03, Tug McGraw in 04, Johnny Oates in 04, John Vukovic in 07, Darren Dalton in 17. So maybe there's something to it. And remember when they replaced the turf, that they put the new turf in, and then they had that preseason game with the Eagles against the Ravens, where they couldn't play it because the turf wasn't down correctly. And there's that famous image of Brian Billick and Andy Reid out there kind of kicking around like, what the hell, we got to play this?
I see images of Darren Dalton, and you see him, great looking dude, a leader, strong guy.
He was like an Adonis.
Yeah, right.
It's just a damn shame. There's no other way to put it.
All right.
Hey, Tommy was talking about the hitting, by the way. I think that, the bats are coming alive. Schwarber did hit one out last night, by the way. And so far they've hit 10 hits and 8 runs last night, right? You talked about the hits. They're 17-7. They now rank 2nd in the NL East, okay? And they've won 5 of their last 6 of their last 8, right? They've won the series already. That's a big thing. They hadn't won a series in LA in a while. To me, think about this. Only 10 days ago, Billy, the Phillies got swept by the Rangers at home.
Right.
Last night, they won their 3rd straight game against one of the best teams in baseball with 50,000 rambunctious Dodgers fans there, and the Phillies worked
them. They dodged Kershaw, so they did get a little lucky.
I'm going to see him Wednesday night. I'll see him Wednesday at the Citizens Bank against the Padres.
All right, hour number 1 is in the books.
Can't believe it.
Hour number 2, we'll get into a little Sixers talk. We'll talk Eagles schedule because the schedule came out Thursday at 6 o'clock, right when I was walking into the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah, if you want to chime in, 609-403-0973. Text message board is open about Sixers schedule, whatever. Okay, you're listening to The Locker Room with Pete Thompson and Billy Schwein here on 97.3 ESPN.
A new fusion of flavor, friendly competition, and fiery foods.
Why would someone looking for a mortgage at the Jersey Shore take a loan from a company in Detroit or North Carolina or some other far-off place? Online mortgages promise a lot, but don't always deliver. First Bank of Sea Isle City knows the Jersey Shore. We are local lenders. We use local appraisers and provide in-house processing. We understand the unique obstacles of financing in Cape May County. Don't take a chance. Local banking is better. Let us guide you. First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is why we're number one for sports in South Jersey.
The Eagles are going to make the playoffs. They play the second easiest schedule. And oh, by the way, Jalen Hurts is good.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Welcome to the Locker Room.
Vince Papali, welcome to the Locker Room.
I can smell it already, Philly. What's happening, buddy?
Ron Hayes, welcome to the Locker Room with Billy Schwein.
Yeah, hey, Billy, how you doing out there?
Rich Gannon, welcome to the Locker Room, Rich.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be with you.
Great Bob McElwee, NFL referee.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Craig Berube. Craig, welcome to the Locker Room.
All right, thanks, Billy.
We have the real Pat Croce in the locker room.
Let me off the bench, Coach.
And now here's your host, Billy Schwein.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson, 97.3 ESPN. Now, Pete, post-mortem Sixers is setting in.
There should have been a Game 7 today.
It would have been right today. Like there are two.
Should have been a Game 7 today.
And there are 2 Game 7s tonight in the NBA.
Not for
now,
the Sixers.
Pete, you were not on with Mike Gill, the Sports Bash, on Friday, so we're going to get an opportunity to get your take on the 76ers. Now's your opportunity.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, and I'm a little angry, and I'm really sad to see that, James Harden is really falling off the wayside from what he had that one big game, where he looked like the James Harden of old, but obviously you're not going to be able to see that. And, I thought, and there's not a lot of times that I'm pretty much in lockstep with Mike Sealski and what he writes, but his headline on his postmortem column was, the Sixers did the worst thing that you can do to Philly sports fans. They gave them false hope. In other words, would you rather have pain or nothing at all? And, we're angry at Harden. We're angry at Doc Rivers. We're angry at Daryl Morey. We're angry that they can't, the Sixers can't get past a certain point and make it to, and that's the thing. Like, and I thought Sealski really articulated, I don't know if you read this column or not, but he says for the better part of 3 decades, okay? So this is way before Rivers, Harden, even Sam Hinkie. From the end of Game 4 of the 1983 finals to the moment Hinkie was hired, they basically, and Mike Gill says this a lot, they were in that rinse, lather, repeat cycle. They weren't good. They weren't bad. You know what I mean? They weren't the worst. They certainly weren't the best.
Mike's thing is that the fans became apathetic to the Sixers because there was never any real hope, and that's why he says the process it was accomplished. Now,
well, the process was to make them relevant again. That's his argument.
And put butts in the chair.
And here's the thing. So, and this is what Sealski writes. In 30 years, they spent 30 years in one of 3 states. They were either very good, mediocre, or god-awful, okay? Right. And, look, they had a couple of flashes of success. They won the Atlantic Division a couple times.
Right.
They went to Eastern Conference Finals in 85. And then what everybody remembers, what does everybody go back to?
2001?
2001. The Tehran Lou, the step-over move. Why do they go back to that? Think about it. The reason you cling to that is because, can you turn that damn phone down? Jesus, you don't even know how to silence your phone. You're on the radio.
Texting me.
That's fine. So the reason you go back to that step over is because since they won the 83 title, there was nothing really between it. Like, that's your next touchstone moment of great moments in franchise history.
0 for 6 in semifinals. conference semifinals since 2001.
I mean, you could pluck little things out. Andre Iguodala hit a buzzer beater in a playoff game against the Magic one year.
Yeah, but
the year that Derrick Rose got hurt and they actually beat the Bulls, the 8 seed beat the 1 seed because there was no Derrick Rose. But, I mean, you peel back the layers of the onion, and they had a winning record just twice in a 10-year stretch.
For the 3 years of losing in the process, or during the process, look at all the blow, like Jahlil Okafor, Nerlens Noel, Michael Carter Williams, all those busts. So was it?
And it's interesting because some of the guys have gone on and been very successful in other places, right? Drew Holiday is a very good NBA. I'm just saying there have been names that have gone on that haven't been good with the Sixers and then have gone on to, and let's go to this, Billy. Jimmy Butler came off and said, they kept Tobias Harris for me. They kept Tobias Harris for me. You could really argue that it was Horford was who they went and got for him, and at the end of the day, they got rid of Jimmy Butler because there wasn't enough basketball for Jimmy Butler.
Oh,
and
Ben Simmons was the one, and Ben Simmons had a lot to do with that.
Had a ton to do
screwed
with
us
it.
again.
Yep, and he's
all right,
not
Pete,
even
so
here
let me
anymore.
ask you this: what about all the love that Joel Embiid was showing Jimmy Butler? I mean, he's your enemy, and he was like, Do you think that Joel Embiid
It went both ways. It went both ways. Jimmy Butler on the national broadcast on ESPN said, "I love Joel Embiid. I miss Philly.
Right?
Don't get me wrong. I love
still
being in Miami, but that you know what? The greatest or the worst thing is untapped potential. And I think in the one season they had together, Jimmy Butler realized that Joel Embiid was what he needed, like for the inside outside guy, right? And they don't make Joel Embiid doesn't grow on trees. I mean, the guys he didn't win the MVP. It sucks, but
now we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I want to get your take on the fact that who's the leader in this team? Who's the leader? Who's the true leader on this team? Now, Joel Embiid is your best player by far, but is he a true leader?
Well, and Joel Embiid even said, "Yeah, I think Joel Embiid's your leader on the team," but
because Danny Green played that role.
Yeah, and that was a damn shame what happened to him with his.
By the way, before I noticed being at the game on Thursday, when after they announced the players, the starting lineup, the team comes in, they all start jumping up. Danny Green was the one in the middle leading that charge.
Yeah,
he was the one that was giving
on crutches or before, beforehand
because he got injured 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's true.
But my point is,
when Joel Embiid hit him.
You can look, even Brad Quas said this yesterday. Players can look into another player's eyes and say, let's go. I'm going to put this team on my back and I'm going to carry it.
Yeah.
Is Joel Embiid that guy? Or because he had so many injuries and so many things going on?
I think Joel Embiid can be the leader of your basketball team and you run things through Joel Embiid. But Joel Embiid even put it out that, like PJ Tucker, right? Bam Adebayo, I mean, look, I give the guy massive props for playing with both, the eye injury and the thumb, and he was still out there. Meanwhile, some other jerk.
By the way, didn't he say he's damn if he does, damn if he doesn't? If he doesn't play, everybody's going to say he's soft, he's always hurt. Excuse me, what are we going to do? Every year he's always injured, and if he plays and he doesn't play well, he's going to get criticized.
I mean, and that's the thing is like, a guy no less than Shaq calls him a warrior. A guy no less than Barkley thinks he's a leader. But then there's people out there that think like, hey, Tim Duncan and Hakeem Olajuwon got better every postseason. That Embiid can't stay healthy and he's not improving. I mean, I think the guy had an MVP season, and to me, I think he is a leader. And anybody that says that he's not, I'd like to see their evidence of why.
Another aspect of the game that I can't believe how many shots from close in that the Sixers missed in game 6. I mean, I'm talking like their fingers are 3 inches from the rim, layups, 5-foot jump shots. It was like a lid on the basket Thursday night.
Yeah, and did you see what Tobias Harris said? I mean, really what you're talking about with leadership, you're talking about like heart and passion, right? And they had when Embiid came back, they played with heart, they played with passion, they tied it up 2-2. And then 5 and 6, I mean, you couldn't find these guys.
They had nothing.
And Tobias Harris said, we've shown when things are good how mentally tough we are. On the flip side, we didn't do a great job of that when things weren't going our way. And by the way, Tobias Harris has been around for the last 4 years.
Isn't it a true mark of a great team is when it's not when you're winning, it's when you're losing how you play?
Yeah,
because this team gave up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, they made a little bit of a fight, but it wasn't with the starters. I mean, the starters were pulled with what? I mean,
there's some good stuff here. Your boy Marcus Hayes is right, and there's a difference between admiration and respect. You admire talent. You admire Embiid's stats and his versatility and his effect on both ends of the court. You expect results. Embiid's gone to the playoffs the last 5 seasons, but he's never made it past the second round.
Yeah.
That's the reason he gets so little respect.
Very, very. I left with 7 minutes to go in the game.
Really?
Yes.
You weren't driving?
No.
Oh, so you had to leave.
No, well, both Louie and I just said, I mean, guess what? At the 7-minute mark, we weren't the only ones.
Yeah.
It was mass exodus.
Yeah, I saw that.
People knew it. They felt, guess what? They were only down by 1 at the end of the half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Down by 1. You still didn't feel, you just, and I said to Louie, I said, even as bad as they play, they're only down by 1. Then they come out in the third quarter, and Harden was like only took 2 shots in the second half.
Yeah, that's inexcusable.
Turning the ball over with what they.
I mean, and that's a big question mark, obviously, going into the offseason. You know, does he?
13 turnovers.
I hope he opts in so that they don't have to think about like this extension or anything like that.
They got out rebounded on both sides of the court, offensively and defensively out rebound. I mean, is there any excuse for that?
No.
How many second and third opportunities did the Miami Heat have? It was unbelievable. In the offensive zone.
James Harden with 11 points in the first half. He had none in the second half, and he only took 2 shots. And one of those
32.4% from the 3-point line.
It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable.
I mean,
and I mean, that's part of the question that you have to ask yourself. Can he still be, you know, because he had that one big game, so can he still be that elite scorer, or is he just really a facilitator, you know? And look, they've already come out and said, Doc Rivers is coming back. So anybody stop talking about this Lakers crap and anything like that. They said Doc Rivers is coming back. They got him signed to another 3 years, I believe, on his contract. And then the second thing was, and we only heard from Harden after the game, I believe. I don't think we've heard from him since. But after the game, he felt that he was coming back. Harden's going to come back. So, I mean, they're going to have to find a way to.
Carlin pointed this out yesterday when we talked to Mike Carlin. He talked about how Harden has to put the ball on the court. When he gets, like, they slough off him so much. So when he gets the ball, he's got to take that shot immediately. He doesn't have time anymore. The speed of the game, he puts the ball on the floor.
He can't go by anybody anymore.
No.
He does, and I don't think that's a 1-year thing. I think that's father time. You know what I mean? And so the thing that made him so elite was that he could blow by defenders, and you had to respect that. And that's why he could do a couple dribble, step back 3. Nobody, if they're not worried about you going by them, then they're not going to give you enough room to get that step back 3, and everything changes. And that's the thing. I mean, you know, they asked Daryl Morey twice about James Harden, and he said something about like the circumstances, the timing wasn't great. You know, I mean, they got him on February 10th. He didn't play until 2 weeks later because of that hamstring tightness. And then when he was asked again, he said, Daryl Morey said, I think we all know he's a very skilled player. We'll figure out how to use him. That's like dancing around, you know.
Well, they got to improve their bench. There's no question about it. Thibault's a liability on offense. I mean, he can't score. Defensively, he's good, but I mean, you need more from him. They lost when Danny Greene went down. I mean, not that Danny Green's a savior of anybody, but at home he was shooting lights out.
He was the one guy. I'm glad you brought Thibault up, because that was one thing that hasn't been talked about the exit interviews the other day. He acknowledged that his confidence dipped, and he said that, you know, he would make the same decision again. He said, there's nothing I would change about not getting the vaccine.
Right.
You know, because he didn't get the vaccine, that's why he had to give up his starting role to Danny Greene. That's why they started rotating Danny Greene in, because they knew they weren't going to be able to use Thibault in Toronto. And then what happened, of course, Thibault played a lot in game 6 because Greene tore the ligaments in his knee.
Well, very, very depressing finish for the Sixers. I think we had all high expectations for this team, especially remember how we felt when the trade went down. The first 5 games that Harden played was like, holy moly, this is great.
I felt like if they didn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals, that it was a failure. And they didn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals. You asked me for my opinion. It's a failure.
All right, there you go. The second hour of the Locker was brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, or experience lively atmosphere in the pub. There's always a full calendar of golf and social events throughout the season to appeal to everyone. For more information on how to become a member or book a wedding, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. When you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston. They do a magnificent job down there. It's family-oriented. All right, My Winter Watchdog. Have you heard of New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog? You know those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on the house, hours of time on the road, or if you're in Florida for the winter. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. Or send Debbie an email, Debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. All right, when we return, we'll get into a little Eagles talk. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Hey, them today, 856-285-4788 to start feeling better, or visit them online at sjadvancehealth.com.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson, Sunday, May 15th. You know, on May 19th, what happened? 1974.
Flyers
won their first Stanley Cup. May 19th. You know how I remember that? It's my sister's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to your sister in advance.
Yeah, right?
Yesterday, I saw something that came out that said, like, on this date, you know, some of those on this date things. And it was on this date, the finale of Seinfeld.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
How about that?
Remember how much that sucked and
man.
everybody was all pissed off?
Hey, speaking of hockey, yesterday, 3 Game 7s in the NHL. And, boy, the first 2 I watched in entirety. The Carolina Hurricanes beat the stinking Boston Bruins. By the way, that's one team I have a disdain for is the Boston Bruins.
Right.
Pasternak, Bergeron.
From back in the day?
Oh, but I love their unis, but can't stand the team.
Okay.
Carolina, under the tutelage of
Rod
Brindamore.
Yeah, Rod the Bod.
Well, I'll tell you what, old-fashioned scrambles in front of the net, knocking down.
Nobody won a road game in that series.
Is that amazing?
Yeah. So, I mean, the Bruins, if you're going to win, and the Hurricanes had home ice advantage, you know, and that's also why you win the Metro, right? I mean, they won their division, so that helped.
So Carolina wins 3-2, and they win the series in 7. Then the Leafs go down to the Lightning.
Don't you feel for the Leafs?
Yeah.
I saw this, and I'm going to put this up show this to you on the StreamYard here. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Can you see this?
No, you have to. I see it. Okay. Read it.
You want to see it again?
Longest Stanley Cup drought in NHL.
Yeah. Longest Stanley Cup drought in NHL history at 55 years.
Wow.
Sorry, I should see. There you go.
There you go. All right, there you go.
Well, I couldn't see where I was holding it, so.
You know, I spoke with, who gave me a call the other day? Andy Tockett, Rick's brother.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
how's Andy doing?
He's doing really well. And you know, he was, I don't think he's the biggest, believe it or not, he's a Buffalo Bills fan, but I don't think he's the biggest Toronto Maple Leaf fan, but he was. The
Maple Leafs are like the Yankees of Canada.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, no, the Montreal Canadiens are. They're the Yankees of.
You're talking about who buys the best players, or what are you talking about?
No,
I'm saying the history. I'm saying the history of the franchise, and you know, well, okay, maybe the Leafs are the Mets then.
Yeah.
If the Canadians are the Yankees, then the Leafs are the Mets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that are Leafs fans. You know.
So Tampa Bay
won 2-1, and they advanced. Yeah.
But you know, one thing I know is it was old fashioned. Like they were banging. There was some nice crisp, like Max Domi. Played well for the Hurricane. I mean, he came across the middle, took that one-time shot. Some really nice plays. You could see him develop the scrums in front of the net, the banging and the hitting. Very entertaining hockey.
Now, since you didn't wait up for the late game, but I told you I'd do my homework.
Yeah.
The Oilers won the late game 2-0 over the Kings. And there's a couple things. You talk about how much you hate the Bruins.
Yeah.
I hate Connor McDavid. So
do you really?
I just don't like the guy.
Really?
He accused the Flyers of dirty play and a dirty hit, and that pisses me off. And I think that he's a crybaby. He's like Crosby.
Who was that Gudis that nailed him behind the net?
I forget who it was, but he said they slew-footed him, and they didn't. Connor McDavid became the 4th Oilers player to record at least 10 assists in a playoff series, following Wayne Gretzky 4 times, Paul Coffey 1 time, and Mark Messier 1 time. Gretzky tied the NHL record with 14 assists in the 85 conference finals. So when you think about that, and you think about what you have tonight, who are you going to get? Who are the Oilers going to face moving forward? Well, it's either going to be the first Battle of Alberta in the Stanley Cup playoffs in 31 years.
Wow.
Remember, Steve Smith somewhere just groaned, right? When the Oilers knocked the puck in. That was the Lanny McDonald year that the Flames won it all, I think.
Yeah.
So will it be Oilers and Flames, or will it be the Oilers reigniting another old playoff rivalry with a club that they've met 8 times before, and that's the Stars.
Right.
So it's either going to be one or the other. But, yeah, you got a couple game 7. I'm going to be really into Penguins Rangers. You know, I figured
I can't. They're two more organizations.
But it's a good bookend for me. The first game that they played went to multiple overtimes and was thrilling to watch.
Yes.
And, yeah. And then, you know, I think
who do you like? Who do you want to see advance there?
God, that's really making me choose.
I was going to say that's like.
I really don't.
Care.
I don't care.
He's
Whoever they are, I hope
all
they
right.
get beat by the.
All right, Pete. The Eagles' schedule came out.
Yes,
and I am shocked to see that the Eagles are going to be involved in 5 primetime games.
Yeah, that was
Were
the
you shocked
first
to
thing
see
I
that?
noticed when the schedule dropped. The very first thing I tweeted the other night about it, or I'm pretty sure I either tweeted about it or I put it up on Facebook, was that my father was going to be upset because he doesn't like night games.
I don't either.
The night games tend to bring out amateur hour. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
more time in a parking lot to get lubed up. You got people who
but
quite
you-
frankly, the 1 o'clock crowd is way different than the 8 o'clock crowd.
But not only that, if you have to get up at 6 a.m., 5:45 in the morning to go to work, you're missing the last bit of it unless you tape
Very,
it.
very much so. But
Right?
it does say something that they got a lot of these primetime games. Look, there's a couple things that jump out to me about the schedule. Last year, I thought the schedule was very difficult in the beginning, and then it got really easy at the end. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
They made the playoffs simply because of the strength of their opponents down the stretch. This year, it's flip-flopped.
Down the stretch they come.
It's easy in the beginning. How about him? He's not running the Preakness.
No.
It's easy in the beginning, but it's not easy in the end. You know what I mean? Now, like, they make a lot about the fact that they have a real easy schedule, right? Well, so does the rest of the division too. I mean,
Well, the Eagles, they say, have the third easiest schedule in the league.
right. Their strength of schedule is 30th in the NFL.
But keep in mind,
They got the Lions who went 3-13, the Vikings who went 8-9, the Commanders who went 7-10, and the Jaguars who went 3-14. That's in their first 4 weeks. But keep in mind, the Giant, so their strength of schedule is 464. The Giants, 465, Cowboys, 462, Commanders, 462. So, in other words, hey, the Eagles have the 30th ranked schedule, right? So that's pretty damn easy. Guess who has 29, 31, and 32? The Giants, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. so
I'm not going to ask you
can spin it one way or the other.
I'm not going to ask you to make a prediction. You know how you
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to do
wait
that.
till the rosters are set.
Yeah.
And then we'll go over but you look at it and I
know AJ Brown's licking his chops,
Yeah.
man. December 4th, the Titans come to town. He's thrilled about that.
couple games that you want to put on your note. The Jaguars and Doug Peterson come to town.
Right.
That'll be pretty interesting
That's
to see
October
what kind of
2nd, and
what
it's
kind
a
of
1 o'clock
reception he
game.
gets.
Oh, I think he's got a statue outside the day on the concourse, for God's sakes. I think he'll get a great reception. I think, the Steelers, for all those people out here that are Steelers fans in the South Jersey area, the Eagles have gone to Pittsburgh, but I don't think the Steelers have been to Philadelphia in quite some time. So that's an interesting game on October 30th.
You know what? I think the Steelers have been to the link not too long ago, because I remember seeing there's two teams when they come in, their fans travel well, or they have a good fan base.
You
the
mean
Steelers and
not in
you
the
see a lot of,
division.
right? You
Like,
see a
in
lot of
other words-
jerseys. You see the Cowboys and Pittsburgh Steelers the most. Wouldn't you agree to that?
All right, I'm looking it up here. The last time they met was in 2020, and that was in Pittsburgh.
Okay,
The Steelers played the Eagles in Philadelphia in 2016.
Yeah,
so
there you
it's
go.
been 6 years.
Okay.
And the Eagles won that game 34-6.
And I remember that game, that just a huge amount of Steeler jerseys. And
Yeah, and
you
they
see
all
that
went
when
home disappointed.
Yeah, and you see that when the Cowboys come to town too.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I would agree with that. So you asked me notable games. I think the back end of that stretch, you mentioned Carson Wentz. When they go to Indianapolis on the 20th, they have a stretch right there. After their bye, they have a stretch right there. Now they do kind of get a little help, though.
Pittsburgh,
because
Texans, Commanders, and Indianapolis. Well,
hang on. The Pittsburgh game or the Texans game is on Thursday.
Right.
Then they don't play again until Monday night, the 14th. So they get an 11-day break between the Thursday game and the Monday game. But no, I think the easy stretch, if there is one, it looks to be in the beginning: Detroit, Minnesota, Washington, Jacksonville. Those first 4 games look relatively easy. That's me knocking on wood, right? The part where I think it's difficult starts with the Colts. They're at the Colts, home with the Packers, home with the Titans.
Right.
That to me looks like their tough stretch. And at the end of the season, and you don't see this a lot, they spend 3 straight weeks on the road. They're at the Giants, at the Bears, and at the Cowboys, the 11th, 18th, and 24th. Remember the guy that won our trip on 97.3 ESPN? He picked Chicago.
Yeah.
And Gil, for whatever reason, was
cold.
saying, I want to go when it's cold. I wanted that Chicago game to be anywhere in the month of September, dare I say the first 2 games in October. Unfortunately, they buried it to the 18th.
The Windy City.
My buddy Kevin, who lives in Chicago and is a Bears season ticket holder, is trying to get me to come out and visit. And I'm thinking, heck no. I am not going out and freezing my tuchus off to, especially, God forbid,
I've been in Chicago for a Flyers Blackhawks game in the middle of the winter, and I'm telling you that
it's brutal.
Oh, it is brutal.
Yeah.
All right.
I get it.
Second hour of the Locker Room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining experience, lively atmosphere in the pub. There's a full calendar of golf and social events throughout the season to appeal to everyone. For more information on how to become a member, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. And, of course, when you pull up, you always see Kevin Kelly out there smiling away.
Kevin's the
right?
best.
And Ryan Owens down there.
Don't forget Ryan. He's
Radio
there too.
Ron Ralston.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan and the class Linea Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the mainline, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the mainline, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at RDS Auto at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime. MOTML.com. All right, when we return, Pete, you have some interviews with the LPGA?
Yeah, and they're back to their traditional dates in June, plus they have a new official Pro-Am hotel partner. I'll tell you about that. And they got a big sponsor that, it's really exciting. I'll tell you all about that, and I got 4 interviews on the other side.
All right, when we return, it's the Locker Room with Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Coming up on the next edition of Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
And I don't want to pass the buck, but
some other far-off place. Online mortgages promise a lot, but don't always deliver. First Bank of Sea Isle City knows the Jersey Shore. We are local lenders. We use local appraisers and provide in-house processing. We understand the unique obstacles of financing in Cape May County. Don't take a chance. Local banking is better. Let us guide you. First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson. Now, yesterday I went to Red's Jersey Mex for lunch.
Nice.
Today I'm going to Randazzo's. And I'll tell you,
Joe Pop know?
I'm going to meet Carlin there and Joe Pop. I'll tell you what, they have. Their food is unbelievable, and that's why Randazzo's has been around for a long time.
Maybe I should join you over
You
there.
want to come on over?
I might have to do that.
All right, we're going to get Randazzo's after the show and PT.
I got some errands to run, but I could do that.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be there till 1 because I have to meet Reds for a couple things.
Oh, you're not going to meet there?
I'll be there at 1:15.
Oh, in that case, no.
You can't go.
Well, let's see how long
Come on, man. Randazzo's got the best food around.
Let's see how long I screw around here after the show gets done.
You
know that usually happens, right?
No, come on, let's meet at Randazzo's.
All right.
You meet Carlin and Joe Pop.
I said it's Michael's birthday. I mean, did you forget about that?
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Right. But I mean, I think I might.
So you got your ShopRite shirt on.
Yeah, I'm like the voice of the ShopRite LPGA. I voiced
You know how to promote.
their sizzle reel.
Shaking hands and kissing babies over there, I'm sure.
Yep, I voice their sizzle reel every year, and it's better than the other way around.
I set it up.
And the ShopRite LPGA Classic is coming back, and they're back in their traditional June dates. So they listed as the 6th through the 12th.
And I might interject this. I
10,
told
11,
you
12.
the story when I was the caddy at the Pro-Am for the LPGA with Tockett, right? He calls me up like, I don't know, 3 hours before he's getting ready to tee off. He goes, Schweiner, I need you to caddy for me.
Was it Jaworski's thing?
No, it was at the LPGA.
Oh, my God.
And it was when it was Great Bay.
Okay.
And he calls me up. He says, Schweiner, I need you. He called me like 9 o'clock in the morning. He says, Schweiner, you got to get down here. I need a caddy. I go, and this is before I even played golf.
Right.
I go, what do I got to do? I was never caddy. I don't know what caddies do.
Oh, my God.
He goes, just get down
the
here.
The biggest thing you got to do is shut up.
Yeah, he goes.
So that had to be a real problem for you.
He goes, just get down here and carry my bag. All right. So I drive down there, right? And we're paired off with one of the players.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Pam Wright.
Okay.
And then 2 people that from the LPGA or ShopRite. One person from the ShopRite. Tockett was the celebrity, and another person that played, right? We're standing at the tee box.
The ropes are up and everything.
Yeah. And Tockett crushes the ball, but he slices it, goes in the woods, and he turns around and he looks at me. I'm like, what are you looking? He goes, go get my ball. I said, go get your ball. You hit it, you get it.
So you guys start getting in a fight.
So we got a fight on the tee box, and people were laughing. I didn't even realize what was going on.
You were like the Billy or the Happy Gilmore slovenly caddy.
I was dead serious. My face was dead serious. I said, you hit it. You go get it.
Oh, my gosh. Is that funny? Well, first, I'll remind people of this, too. You can get a pair of tickets for free with your ShopRite Price Plus card. They have a whole bunch of ticketing options. Go to ShopRiteLPGAClassic.com to find out more about their ticket options. And again, they're back in their traditional dates, which I'm excited about. They're partnering with Hard Rock Hotel.
Okay.
Joe Lupo, are you out there? Joe Watson, do you hear me? Right? My boys, right? Joe Lupo, of course, is the president GM at Hard Rock, and Joe Watson, Holy Spirit, Joe Watson, not the hockey player.
Not the hockey player.
I did that once on the air. That was a pretty infamous time. I had Joe Watson on as a guest, and I said something about his dad. He's like, why are you talking about my dad? And I did it with Ian Walterson and Stefan Rivard in studio.
There's that famous picture of Jimmy and Joe.
Oh, God,
they
just started howling, laughing, because they knew that I screwed up. But, yeah, the Hard Rock is going to be the Pro-Am partner, the official Pro-Am partner. And then the thing I talked about and teased right before the break is that PGA Tour Superstore is going to tee up with the ShopRite LPGA Classic. And that's awesome because they're going to have they always have the family fun village, and they're going to have Girls Got Drive, and that's going to be a whole thing with an interactive area. And they just put a PGA Tour Superstore, I believe, near King of Prussia. So I'm pretty sure that's the closest one to where, of course, King of Prussia Mall and all that. But suffice to say, the tournament's back in its traditional dates. I'm excited about that. The field is as strong as ever, 144 of the top golfers in the world. Celine Boutier is the defending champion, and I played in the media day on Monday. So let's get to these interviews, and we'll start with We will start with Amanda Blumenhurst. And Amanda Blumenhurst works for the Golf Channel, but she also played her college golf at Duke.
Okay.
And a little tidbit, she went on and married a professional baseball player. I don't know if he's still playing professional baseball or not anymore, but she alludes to the fact that she was first flirting with this baseball player, if you will. Her husband is Nate Freeman. Nate played for the Athletics, played for the Oakland A's, and played for the Oakland A's, and he was a professional baseball player. So played 2013, 2014. So without further ado, this first interview is Amanda Blumenhurst talking about the golf course. And remember, keep in mind, it was very windy on Monday, so a lot of these address the fact of what the Bay course's teeth are. Here's Amanda Blumenhurst. Hopefully. I'm here with Amanda Blumenhurst, Golf Channel, former LPGA Tour Pro, Duke University, right? So many titles, a mom, right? Happy day after Mother's Day. And I'm excited to talk to you because this means the tournament is coming and the tournament is almost here. First and foremost, you have happy memories of coming here. Could you enlighten our listeners a little bit on what you spoke about up there in the program?
I absolutely love it here. In 2006, I got a sponsor invite from ShopRite. It was my first ever LPGA event. I had just finished my freshman year at Duke, and so this event just holds a really special place in my heart. I had my mom, my dad fly in for it, and I actually played, I thought, pretty well, and I missed the cut. I shot 3 over, and I just remember thinking, like, man, these girls are really good. I think I should stay in school a couple more years and come back when I'm a little bit older. And then I did end up playing here as a professional as well. And 2013 was the last time I played here. And I was in contention for a little bit, and Kari ended up winning. And I think I finished just outside the top 10. But it was a good way to end playing here on the professional side, just because it really does hold such great memories for me.
And because you've been on the tour before and you know stop to stop, and they're not all the same, what makes this one so special?
Well, one is the fan base and just like how everybody comes out and really supports the event. I had this amazing host family that I stayed with for years and years, and they would always come out and watch and take me out on their boat. It was always like, it felt very much like a family affair, and also just the golf course. I love it. Even though I was one of the longer hitters, this golf course isn't really a long golf course, but there's some par 5s that are definitely reachable, especially like 18 and 9. And so it was always kind of a fun for the longer hitters to be able to kind of capitalize on those par 5s. And also it was beautiful right on the water, and get an experience the desert girl Scottsdale doesn't get very much.
Well, and you know as well as anybody that any Donald Ross course, it may not be the longest, but the greens are always what make that distinctive Donald Ross signature, where there's like false fronts, or you think you've hit a good shot and you look up and it's still rolling in the wrong direction, at least for me.
It's so true. And I think that's one of the reasons I played well here is my strength was definitely my iron play. And so being able to pick the putt for birdie, or you're just trying to putt, across 40 feet of green where it breaks, into different quadrants. So being able to try at least to put it in the correct spot makes a huge difference.
Two things that are non-golf, Duke girl, right? So Coach K finally says goodbye. What was March like for you?
It was very bittersweet. It was tough to watch, him say goodbye and get really emotional. And there's still a part of me that's waiting for him to pull a Tom Brady, be like, actually, I'll see you guys next year. I want to win one more time as a coach. So I still have this inkling it might happen, but probably not. John Shire was one of my friends at Duke. We were, I think he was just a year behind me at school, and we took a couple classes together. So it's awesome that he's going to get a chance to be the head coach there.
And then the last one I'll ask you about, you went back to your memories here of the golf course, but you told another story that I thought was pretty amusing too, how this was pre-FaceTime, right? You had some ability to connect, but maybe not the world's best ability. And there was some fella that played baseball that you were talking to.
It's so true. So it was 2006. I did not have a smartphone at the time. I had one of those flip razor phones. And so I was staying at the hotel here, and they had this little conference center there with computer base. And every time after my round, I would run up and check my email and to see if this guy who played baseball at Duke, he was my year, if he had emailed me, and he was playing for the Delaware Cows in Ohio for the summer ball. And, we were talking about how school is going to start, not too far away, and got to meet up. And, was I think like 16 years later, but almost 4 kids later, that was a very good decision to keep emailing him while I was here.
You've been listening to Amanda Blumenhurst, Golf Channel, Duke University, former LPGA Tour pro. She's been our guest here on The Locker Room on 97.3 ESPN. So that's Amanda Blumenhurst. A great interview with her, Billy. I know that's the first time you got a chance to hear from her. She's very attractive.
Yes.
She's also a mom of 3 or 4 now, so it's nice to see her be back at the tournament. Celine Boutier is the defending champion of the tournament. Here's Celine Boutier. I'm here with the defending champion for the 2021 ShopRite LPGA Classic, and that is Celine Boutier. Welcome back to Seaview.
Thank you.
Tell me your thoughts as you walk on the grounds here today and you get to see the course one more time. I'm sure it's all happy memories.
Yeah, it was mostly good memories, just like remembering some of the shots that I made, and especially on the last round, and just seeing it all being played back in my memory was definitely pretty cool.
And it took me back a little bit too, because you came in first and posted your score, and they were asking, Amanda was asking, were you on the range? What were you doing? Because you were in ahead, and I'm sure never in your wildest dreams did you think that, well, I'm just going to walk back out and accept a trophy. You figured it was a playoff.
Yeah, I was honestly 95% sure I was going to be in the playoffs. So I was just trying to get myself mentally ready to go in the playoff, because that's not always easy, especially when you go in the playoff against Jin Young Ko and Inbee Park Hall of Famer. So I was just mentally just trying to get ready. And the fact that I just won the trophy like that was definitely unexpected.
And especially with 18 being a birdie hole, or 18's a hole that's reachable at 2, and there's all kinds of action that can happen at that. I'm sure that it was, hey, that's a happy surprise.
For sure.
So tell me this golf course, and you talked about that up front, that it's not the longest course in the world, but today, as we do this interview, 30-mile-an-hour winds. I've never seen a flag stick. The hole on 2, the flag stick was bent like in half, and I thought, oh my God, I've never seen a stick in the cup just come out of the cup. And I thought literally that was going to happen. That's how hard it was blowing. I mean, it felt like Scotland and Ireland out there.
Actually, that was one of my remarks. I was like, this is like British Open conditions. It gets pretty tough out there when it's windy, and like you said, the course is not very long, but you definitely have to be accurate of the tee. You have
soap, and harsh chemicals, and that's good for the planet.
Now you're saying it.
You bet I am, Greg. Soft water and a cleaner environment is already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Plan your summer vacation now. Spirit Airlines is offering nonstop flights from Atlantic City International Airport to Boston, Atlanta, San Juan, Miami, and other exciting destinations. Book your low-cost flights today by visiting Spirit.com.
All right, we're back. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson. Of course, you have a couple more interviews. We'll save them for next week as we approach the LPGA. What are you laughing at?
Well, we talked too much. You know? We had it all mapped out and produced, and then we got
easy
to that
like a
segment,
Sunday
we just
morning,
talked
Pete.
too
It's
much,
easy like
you
a
know?
Sunday morning.
See if there's anything here we didn't talk about. Here's one. We didn't talk about the draft lottery and how the Devils screwed us.
Yeah, how about that?
That
The
pissed
Flyers
me
got
off.
the 5th pick.
Yeah, they were supposed to get no worse than the 4th pick. They got the 5th pick, and then the damn
Matter of
Devils
fact,
got
that was
the
the day
2nd pick.
that was the night that all our teams lost, right?
Yeah, it was not good. So Montreal is the 1, Devils have 2, Arizona 3, Kraken 4, and the Flyers have 5. We talked about David West. We talked about the Leafs.
We talked a little bit about the Eagles.
Edmonton, and that bummed me out.
Two Game 7s tonight in the NBA.
Yeah, there's 2 Game 7s tonight in the NBA. By the way, if you want a little past on who the Flyers have picked at 5 or higher, they picked Nolan Patrick in 2017. Bust. They picked James Van Riemsdyk in 07, number 2 overall.
But then they traded him.
But then they traded him just as he was getting good. His best years were in Toronto. They got Yoni Pitkanen. Remember him?
Yeah, he was
4 overall.
It wasn't a bust.
Mike Ricci in 1990. He was number 4 overall. 1982, Ron Sutter, number 4 overall.
Twin.
In 75, they had the number 1 overall pick. Do you know who they took in
71?
75?
In 75?
This guy was a good flyer, but he was even better in the business world after he went to Wharton. That would be Mel Bridgman. And then the last pick they've had 5 or higher in 1967. They picked Serge Bernier, number 5 overall.
Ron and Rich Sutter, we used to call each other, because I'm a twin, we used to call each other twin. Hey, twin.
Yeah. I sat next to Ron Sutter when he was working for Calgary as a scout and sat with him at a playoff game in the Flyers press box and just was kind of looking at him. He goes, I said, I'm sorry, I'm Pete Thompson. He says, Ron Sutter. I thought, oh, my God.
All right, so we're going over to Randazzo's. They get the best lobster bisque around. Of course, I'm going to get myself a nice cheesesteak with the ghost peppers.
I believe I will get one, too, without
Carlin's
the
going
ghost
to meet
peppers.
us over there.
Okay, Carlin, you've been
Hey,
warned.
great show today, PT.
Thanks, Billy.
Thanks
Good
for making,
times. Thanks, Tommy Greene.
Thanks for TD Green. Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. We'll be back at it next weekend. I'll see you next Sunday. In the meantime, everybody have a great week, and listen to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill tomorrow.
Take care.
We get it. You're not going to work just anywhere. You're smart, you're ambitious, and you want to help others. You want a place where you can thrive, feel fulfilled, and have an opportunity for growth, all while making an incredible living. Right now is the perfect time to join the team at Town Square Media as a marketing consultant. Join one of the fastest growing digital companies in America, where you get to help build client solutions with real local influencers and sell brands like TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. If this sounds exciting to you, let's have a conversation. Our comp package is amazing with unlimited earning potential, including base salary, mobile phone, auto expense, 401k match, trip incentives, and more. If you're competitive, driven, and have the ability to communicate great ideas, we'd love to hear from you. With digital advertising expected to double over the next 3 years, the timing could not be better. Reach out to Mike Rubel, Market President, at 609-910-5249 or visit careers.townsquaremedia.com. Town Square Media is an equal opportunity employer.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What dealer wants to approve you if you clear $350 per week?
Who is Matt Blatt Kia?
What dealer will pay off your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth?
Who is Matt Blatt Kia?
Correct. Do you have a job that cleared $350 per week? At Matt Black Kia in Toms River and Egg Harbor Township, you're virtually approved. Plus, we're overloaded with trades, even one-owner trades, many with factory warranty, and they must go. To make room for new Kias arriving daily. Just because you don't see your new Kia on the lot doesn't mean you can't be driving it home tomorrow. So bring any trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And don't forget, you can't make a mistake with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
Offers with approved credit through Kia Motors Finance. Not all will qualify. Go to mattblackkianj.com for complete details. Expires
6/5/2022.
Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township. And now on Route 37 in Toms River.
Everyone knows that Nature Valley Crunchy Bars are, well, crunchy. What they don't know is that they're also packed with 16 grams of whole grains, ready to help you get out there. Nature Valley, for every adventure.
With all the sports we have, every time of the year is the best time of the year.
And the crowd just buzzing with excitement.
On 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. Is Sports Center.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. Yesterday, they called it Game 7 Saturday. Today, Sunday, the 7th day of Game 7s. There are 4 more on the combined NBA and NHL schedules beginning in Boston. The Bucks are taking on the Celtics. Milwaukee's actually 2-1 in this series on the Celtics home court. Now, Boston's going to have the crowd in its favor, and that's certainly better than a kick in the head, but not that much, says Celtic head coach Ime Udoka.